You know, for some people, what I'm about to do could be considered a crime. What I'm actually doing is blessing this fine Scotch whiskey with antipodes. You're welcome. Welcome back to Redlining, a very special episode today as Yvette and I are wearing the same clothes. Hi.
Yvette. I'm only Yvette when I'm in trouble.
Exactly. And you're in trouble. Yvie. Yvie and I are wearing the same clothes. The couple that wears the same clothes together stays together. Who knows? Across from us today is somebody very special, someone I've actually known for a very, very long time. It's Steph Bedford, a.k.a. Madame Sass. How you going, sweetie?
Kia ora. Doing very well. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming along. Yeah. So you have an event coming up soon. I got to check this. It's Girls Bleed Techno. I needed to get that one right because as the only male on the thing, I didn't want to fuck that up.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't advise it.
No. So Girls Bleed Techno. It's at the Whammy Bar. What's it about? So it's a little bit of a charity thing as well, isn't it? Tell us about it.
Yeah. So essentially, I've suffered from endometriosis most of my adult life, as do 1 in 8 to 1 in 10 women. So it's something that's I've been really passionate about for a long time, as well as also being really passionate about how many amazing women we have, DJs, female DJs in New Zealand. Cool. And I'm a little bit... getting a little bit tired of the old yarn about how promoters can't find enough female techno DJs in New Zealand. So I was like, well, let's just kill 2 birds, 1 stone, raise awareness for the cause that matters a lot to me and a lot to other people, and also show how amazing our wahine are here.
That's awesome.
That's
great. Well, it's been really interesting being involved doing the podcast and having our little redlining thing going on. There's actually quite a few female DJs out there. So there is no excuses, I think, for promoters not to be able to find good female content.
Yeah. Agreed. Oh. And that means more than just 1 chick in a lineup of 15 men.
Yeah.
Right.
Not just a token.
No, not just a token. I'm a little bit, I think we can do better than that. So I'm sort of proving that point by filling an 8-hour lineup, 2 rooms with 10 DJs, and all who have personally been touched or influenced by endometriosis, either their own bodies or someone really close to them. Yep. So we've got 3 women in the lineup who've had hysterectomies. I had a surgery 6 months ago. Quite a few of the other girls have as well. So so it's a really, really big cause for all of us.
I mean, just remind us again, what day is that on? It's on the
Friday 19th of April. Yep, so coming around really soon.
Sweet as. We'll be putting all the contacts for that in the description, obviously. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself. So when I knew you, you weren't a DJ, were you?
No.
This is about 10 plus years ago.
What were you doing?
Gosh, I don't even know. Frolicking around Auckland like some, young wannabe. Nah, cool. I was involved in various boring ventures, but then sort of started to branch out into the world of creatives. It's funnily enough, actually, Yvie and I have almost known each other for longer.
Oh, yeah, since we were little sprogs.
Little tykes.
Definitely though.
Little crazy creative actors and singers, dancers.
Exactly. so the creative energy has been there for me for a really, really long time, but it was dormant for a while, doing some serious stuff. And then I was like, actually, do you know what? I think I can mix the 2 together. So I started playing about, I don't know, 3 years ago, something like that, and it's just been a pretty fun bloody journey since then, to be honest.
So why DJing? What made you pick up the scratches?
I was sitting at Explore once with my friend, and it was about 5 a.m. and we were just playing some nice wee little melodic, melodic tech deep house.
I think we've all had a 5 a.m.
tunes, right? Like the best slot.
Yeah.
And we were just sitting there playing some tunes, and she was like, a shout out to Rio, by the way, who lives in London now. And she was like, girl, you always know the right kind of tunes to put on at the right time. And she's like, have you ever thought about DJing? And immediately all of these excuses came into my head, like, I couldn't because of this, or I couldn't because of that, or whatever. And then I was like, that's dumb. I could totally fucking do it. Like my auntie growing up was she's a house DJ, a vinyl house DJ, Lady Mears, you know, she used to DJ in Ponsonby and spent some time in London and stuff as well. So I was like, fuck, I'm actually really surrounded by amazingly talented people in this space, and, you know, some of my mum's friends and whatnot. So yeah, a good friend of mine, Mark Lloyd, taught me how to play, and then it's kind of just been a really fast sort of train since then. It's fun.
Did you find it like super easy to pick up, being obviously always musical growing up?
I wouldn't say really hard, but it wasn't really easy. I think such a massive part of it is being surrounded by people that you can learn from, or at least look over their shoulder. You know, if I didn't have any other DJ influences in my life, I think it would probably be quite challenging, but it also keeps you competitive. You know, you're like, oh, I want to be better, I want to learn more, I want to, you know, so yeah. And
you started off playing house techno. What was your first kind of jam?
I definitely started playing house and disco. That's kind of where my safe spot is. But then in 2022 I went traveling. I did 6 months in Europe, and to be honest, I had a really bad experience with a promoter, club owner over there, and I let his negativity penetrate my confidence, and he told me that I wasn't a DJ.
What?
He said to me, like, literally, quote, "You're not a DJ. You're a really good saleswoman, but you're not a DJ."
Name him and shame him.
What the fuck? Really?
Yeah.
What a dick.
What did he mean by that?
Horrible critter of a person.
What did he mean? You're a good salesman, but not a good DJ? I don't follow.
I think he liked the fact that I was a really good talker and a pretty face,
right?
And so he could use me to his advantage, and I was really good at selling events and promoting.
I don't use this word very often, but that's a misogynist.
Oh, he was an absolute
toxic,
misogynistic C.
Yeah.
But it was also my fault that I let him affect me, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm not such a good DJ, and I sort of fell out of it a little bit for a short time, and also because I was traveling so much, I wasn't practicing heaps, and so I started to get a little bit sloppy, and then I just let a lot of doubt take over me, and I was sort of falling out of love with house. And then I remember I played a couple of gigs I wasn't super stoked about, and then I said to my partner, I was like, right, if the next gig, if I'm not happy with how I play, then I'm taking a break. And I played the gig at Sardine Bar, actually, in town, and 5-hour set, and I smashed it. And I was like, okay, all right. I am a DJ. I do know what I'm doing. I am a good saleswoman as well. Thank you very much. I'm a good DJ and a saleswoman.
She's the whole shebang.
And a promoter. So, anyway, so that was that. And then, but around that time as well, I was sort of like, ugh, maybe it's the genre. Maybe it's the music. Yeah. And I'd always just been really passionate about like melodic techno, deep house, that sort of vibe, but I'd always been a little bit scared of dipping my toe into that pond. But around that time, it blended and really beautifully, and so that kind of took my music in a different direction. And then it switched again, and this is the beautiful thing about traveling. Went back to Europe in 2023 and spent 2 full weeks in Berlin after being there for 4 months the previous year, and just followed the music and was just like, hey, let's just go wherever the good DJs are, wherever, let's check it all out. And I came across I came across a guy who I'd seen play the year before, but I'd seen this guy play the most insane contemporary house vinyl set at Sisyphus, and it was like one of the most memorable sets of my life, but I'd never found out this guy's name. Right, so I'd left with sort of like this leftover aftertaste of that was amazing, all of this music, but I couldn't really, in 2022, I couldn't really put my finger on the subgenre that I was really being pulled to. And so I went back in 2023, and I was standing at Sisyphus, and I look at this guy, and I'm like, I swear I swear I know this guy. And I feel like I've seen him play here. And I couldn't concentrate on the person I was talking to. I'm really sorry. I have to go and talk to this guy. And I went up to him and I was like, did you by any chance play a vinyl set here last year? And he's like, yeah, in Winter Garden. I was like, no way.
The
man. And so we just had the best chat. And he's kind of been the inspiration for the direction that I've gone in with my music, which I've now discovered is really to sort of describe it as Detroit, Chicago jazz house.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
And
really cool.
It is so yummy. It's so awesome. And it's great because there aren't a lot of people playing that here.
No.
And so I've really enjoyed being able to sort of simmer that through Auckland.
Yeah.
And now looking to sort of broaden out from that. But
Oh, that's so cool.
I look forward to hearing
One
that.
of a kind.
yeah.
You'll be on the decks on the 19th, am I right in saying?
Yes, correct.
What time are you on the decks? Got to time that right?
I think I'm toying with my confidence here, so I'm really deciding if I go second to close or third to close. I'm not quite sure. I've got some fucking powerhouses on either side of me. So it's really daunting. Yeah. But yeah, one of the later sets in the night. Yeah.
So just sticking in Berlin for a second. Speak of Deutsch?
Not really. Wie geht es dir?
Not really.
Alles gut, my dear. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So how difficult was it for you in Berlin to actually communicate? I know a lot of, same in Holland, right? Everyone speaks English as well, right?
Yeah.
So was there much of a barrier with the language?
Not really. You can definitely, my friend who I stay with over there, he's an amazing guy. Dave Thorley, if anybody wants to really tap into some amazing musical knowledge, he's been a DJ for 35 years. He's initially from the UK, now living in Berlin. He's got a radio show there. Anyway, he's amazing. But classic, stubborn as hell, older English guy, and refuses to learn German. He's like, I can get by without it. So you can. I personally like to have a little bit more language. So which I do pick up a lot quicker when I'm over there than when you test me on a podcast.
The power of music. Music brings people together. You don't need language. It's good.
It works for him, obviously. If he's, doing
well, and like he's got a lot of friends that translate for him. And, so you can get by, but there are also a lot of people in Germany that don't. And Berlin that don't speak any English, so you will definitely come into those situations. But Google Translate is a gem and helps a lot. So and Berlin people are extremely friendly and helpful. So
and they're tolerant.
Never really had any issues.
Yeah, they're tolerant of it too. If you don't speak German, they'll accommodate you.
Yeah,
unlike the French. If you don't speak French,
but if you speak it, and then if you speak it like you don't pronounce the words right, it's even worse.
Oh yeah.
See, it's great for me because my partner's French, and I refuse to go to France and not be able to speak to his family. So I now speak fluent French.
Oh, really?
Which is really great. Yeah. And
That's
it's funny when I speak to people who clearly are not expecting it. Yeah. And you speak to them in French and then just the looks on their face because they're not used to most English speaking people being able to converse really freely. But language is a really, really, really powerful thing.
Yeah.
That's so
places
cool.
For sure, yeah.
So you were gigging in Berlin?
I played one gig in Berlin, which was awesome.
Tell us about it.
Really, really great. We played at a place called Repeat Bar, which is, there's 2,500 paid DJs in Berlin.
Fucking what?
2,500 paid
That's
DJs
insane.
just in Berlin.
Jesus.
That's paid DJs.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
And so in Auckland, in terms of paid DJs, probably a dozen?
12.
Yeah, that's a dozen.
That's it.
That's nuts. What's the population of Berlin?
Oh shit, I don't know.
Be about 10 million.
I honestly wouldn't.
So many tourists as well, I guess.
That's insane.
Yeah, and then so therefore imagine how many bars there are. number of bars.
Shit.
So I'm telling you, this is at Repeat Bar, which is a really small, awesome Berlin, grungy, you know, dark and dirty sort of place. But I'm really excited that I think I'm probably, so I'm going back late May at this stage and have been tentatively promised a set at Kit Kat.
Oh, what's Kit Kat?
Oh, Kit Kat Club, like... Some people say the most famous club in the world.
Wicked.
I've heard of Kit Kat.
Yeah. So its origins relate to, I think it's Chicago.
Yeah.
The Chicago musical, something like that.
Whoa.
But it's been around for yonky donkeys, and it's a kink club and a techno club, and it's just insane. And my friend Dave, he plays in the disco room down there sometimes. So
I think it's been around since the 30s.
Yeah,
Kit Kat.
yeah,
That's
babe.
epic.
This club, by the way, for anyone who hasn't been there, and I was going to say unfortunately, but fortunately, you can't take phones into the club. So there's no real.
I like that.
Oh, it's
cool.
The only way. To be fair, all of the clubs are like that in Berlin. I struggle a little bit in places like Auckland and Australia, where you have girls standing at the front of the DJ booth with their phones up, just taking selfies with their mates. I'm like, get fucked.
Yeah.
If you're not dancing and you're not here for the music, get out.
Yeah.
This is not your show.
Yeah.
Get out. And also, like, I don't want you taking photos of me. I don't want you taking photos of yourself. If you want to do that, go outside.
Just enjoy the moment.
Like, and so the beautiful thing is that no one is even standing at the bar or at the bathrooms going, oh, I'm feeling really awkward. I don't want to talk to anyone, so I'm just going to look at my phone. No one can do that. So you just meet so many people all the time. But you can Google photos of Kit Kat. They do have a few without people in them.
They've probably got but also at a place like that, I would imagine that every once in a while they'd have an official photographer go in. I mean, you got to do your marketing.
Yeah.
Or are they that strict?
No, so they've got official photographers in there that take photos of people. Like if you go to anybody wants to have a look, Symbiotica is a night that they run on Wednesdays there, and they have a professional photographer and he posts photos. So you can definitely feel the vibe. Symbiotica is a pretty dark event, so you'll see some pretty dark people and some dark imagery. Other nights are a little lighter, but there's a pool. There's a sauna.
What?
There's a cafe.
This is my vibe.
There's so people. So the thing is, because it takes so long to queue and it's so expensive to get into the clubs, like average queue time for Kit Kat and peak season and Berghain, you're looking at 4 hours.
Holy
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
Cafe, sauna, pool. I would live there.
But that's the thing. That's what people do. So they go there. And then, let's say it's Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and they're like, I'm a bit tired, I'm just going to have a nap. So people just like nap in the club or go home and then, come back. It's a lifestyle. It's not just, the thing is, it's not just about going out and getting drunk or going out and, whatever. It's the most amazing mecca of think of a festival that runs all year, 7 nights a week.
Yeah.
It sounds like a health club.
Day. Well, you can get massages.
Brilliant.
There's the whole downstairs is a dungeon, right? So you can do kink courses, you can get tattoos, you can have dom sessions. There's a disco room. There's a ballroom. There's a ballroom, so like you can go and do like it's really bougie. There's like all of these nice like cocktails, and you can they do like salsa at like 7 p.m. or something like that. And then upstairs is the techno room, the cafe, the pool.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. So you can see why I'm
So you've tentatively been offered, fingers crossed, a set.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But the plan is to
You're
really...
You're nervous even talking about it. You're like, holy shit.
Next month. Yeah. I'm like... I
can't believe this is happening.
I'm really scared. But to be fair, like the main motive for Berlin is really to go over to set things up for my partner and I for next year.
Cool.
Because teeing up gigs and stuff, if you're not there, is really challenging. You can if you've got a really big profile and an amazing agent, then absolutely. But I'm a little old DJ from New Zealand and I know a lot of people in Berlin, but you have to know the people in Berlin. So hopefully I'm going to work on the door of a few places. I know some people to help facilitate those connections. But yeah, it's really getting those building blocks up and going for next year and doing some fashion stuff on the side as well. So
cool. Fashion. What's that whole thing?
I recently did something wild and quit my job, and
as you do. YOLO.
Well, tentatively at this stage anyway, we'll see. They may pull me back. No, but I have just serendipitously just met the most beautiful people in the last year or so, and I've always loved clothes and loved fashion. But just in the last year, I've just met all of these people in the right places, right times, right connections. And there's actually quite a lot of money in vintage and recycled clothing. So, for example, you know, I can go to a 5-story op shop in Berlin and buy
5-story op shop.
5-story. Yeah. 5-story. It's called Humanas. 5 stories. They have like heaps of them. And buy a leather skirt for €2 and sell it here for $50, you know. So
that's brilliant.
Yeah, there used to be a few shops around here.
Jet Set Bohemians, they're kind of that vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, and there's you know, Teddy's on Ponsonby Road making absolute killing.
Yeah,
killing.
Do it.
So you know, I'm sort of trying to supplement everything with other things and modeling and voice work, and I mean, you
just living your best life.
Yeah, trying.
And that's an op shop buy, isn't it?
It is. It is
so
indeed.
cool. So is this like your little, like a little bit of your logo
I'm wondering if I should just make it my logo. I don't know if
that's
my
pretty
logo
cool.
currently.
I like it.
I picked that up. Picked them both up from Spotlight, and I was like, "Oh, they look quite cute."
No way!
Kind of sexy, bit of a bite lip, and
it's cool. I love it. Very femme. So cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You should wear it. Actually, what are you wearing the night of the gig? Are you wearing the latex thing? Or yes.
Yeah. So for anyone who's not sure what they're wearing yet, first off, if you're really struggling for options, Dangerfield, the outlet store on Queen Street, is just full of amazing for men too, by the way.
I didn't know there was a Dangerfield outlet store.
Oh, it's awesome.
I shopped at Dangerfield, but not at the outlet.
No, the outlet, but because
brilliant.
With all due respect to Dangerfield, absolutely love their stuff, but full price, it's too expensive.
Oh yeah.
So I went in there and I got like, I don't know, 5 or 6 pieces for $270.
Fuck, that's all right.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That's good. You're there.
All with a pretty good upsell.
Yeah.
Margin. So so for red clothes, go and have a look. Otherwise, there's some amazing op shops along K Road and Ponsonby Road. So
red clothes.
Red theme.
Is that the theme? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Red is the theme.
Yep.
And think whammy, think dirty, think gory, think whatever the fuck you want it to be. I'm going latex. That's my sort of material of choice. But just own it. And by the way, for anybody who's questioning, this is very much open to men. Just because of the fact that you're not behind the DJ booth, it's okay. You're still invited. We want this to be about everybody, but we also want this event to shine with women. You know, it would feel a little bit inauthentic having men go up there and be like, oh yeah, I mean, endometriosis sucks, but hey, listen to my music. So yeah.
It's so good that you're actually talking about it, because I find that so many Kiwis keep these kind of things under wraps and they don't actually talk.
Everything.
So, everything. So conservative.
Everything. You know, I mean, I had surgery 6.5 months ago and had 2 really large cysts removed. One that was quite dug into my bowel that they reckon basically been there since I was a kid. And one that was above my cervix. And you know, the recovery from something like that is pretty gnarly.
Brutal.
You know, bowels and stuff, they're just horrible.
Just for those who don't know, and if you don't want to go into the gory details, what is endometriosis?
Yeah, thank you for that reminder. I do need to be checked on that every now and then. Endometriosis is essentially, the easiest way to describe it is that when a female would normally shed her lining and bleed, sort of shed through the inside, it bleeds on the outside. So blood lesions can form and attach to various different organs and bowels throughout the body, and those cause extremely, extremely painful side effects. So depending on the type of endometriosis you have, it will affect you really differently. And the hard thing is that there is no template. There's no template, and it's an incurable condition. So what affects you, Yvie, won't affect me, and what affects me won't affect my mate or my sister or whatever, you know. So for me, the fact that most of my endo's been on my bowel and my bladder, that gives you sort of like daily pain. Whereas some girls who have theirs on their uterus or their womb, on their ovaries or whatever, theirs might be more flared up at their time of the month. So it's really hard, and I empathise with so much with partners and friends and family of those who suffer with it, because it's a really complex condition to understand. I mean, even if you take outside of the gynecological space, the effect that it has on your energy levels, your fatigue, you know, your mental health, my legs are sore all the time, my back is sore all the time, like, you know, it's,
anything like that is going to take a lot of your natural healing capability away from a lot of other places. So I can see how that would be.
So it's a really complex thing to manage yourself. And, you know, for example, in my case, I have been smoking medicinal cannabis for quite some time. Thankfully now legally.
Great.
Shot. Well done. We got there eventually in New Zealand.
Is it legal? Sorry, the medicinal.
Yes, recreational is still illegal, but medicinal, honestly, is actually in a really good space. So
Okay, cool.
It's really accessible. I get mine from Cannaplus and Ponsonby.
Oh,
and they are awesome. They are really, really great.
Good
so
to know.
I'm so pleased that we've actually moved in a positive direction in that space. But so, you know, I don't really drink alcohol. You know, wine, or it's not really that good for me. And so, you know, I smoke a pretty decent amount of cannabis because that's my primary pain relief. Otherwise, the alternative is shitloads of pain medication. So I already take, you know, anti-inflammatories, and I take tramadol when I need to. But if I didn't have the cannabis, that would mean probably 3 times as much tramadol, codeine, whatever. And everything has a negative effect, right? So it's kind of like, okay, let's just choose the better of two evils. And in my opinion, I would rather be putting New Zealand grown, medicinally approved, verified cannabis. Yes, that will have impacts on my, you know, mental well-being and my memory and, you know, and moods and things like that. But also, so does taking shitloads of tramadol. Do that
over pharmaceuticals any day.
I'm telling you now.
Pharmaceuticals.
They suck. So we only have to look at the fentanyl crisis of the US to see where that can go. So it's a bloody tricky beast trying to navigate that. But yeah, so from a pain perspective, it's really challenging.
It's a full body thing. Like I don't really know an awful lot, and I know I've gone into like medical talk now, but is it true that to find out that you have endometriosis, you have to actually get surgery?
Yeah, that's correct.
That's crazy. To be diagnosed with it, you've actually got to go under the knife.
So and
sorry, 1 second. So you only find out you've got it until you go under the knife.
Correct.
Jesus.
That's what I've heard.
And it takes on average 7 years for diagnosis. Because of the fact that, like, you have no idea the amount of doctors and specialists I saw for years.
I hear this from every woman that I know that has endometriosis. Told that you're
hysterical, or it's all in your head, or, you know, I went to see. God, I love that these stories are actually coming out into the ether. It's fantastic. I went to see a dietitian when I was 17 after going to see a gastroenterologist who did all these tests, and it cost me a lot of money. I remember it cost, and I was 17, it was $1,000 for this hydrogen breath testing, which my insurance company didn't cover because at the time they thought this was still related to my gut, and they'd ruled that my gut was a pre-existing condition that they wouldn't cover anymore. So I paid to go and get this hydrogen breath testing done. He comes back and he's like, I don't know, it's inconclusive. I'm not sure. Go and see a dietitian. Go and see a dietitian. This lady across the road, and she's like, okay, you need to do the FODMAPs diet. Okay, sure. Did the FODMAPs diet, you know, and did it really strict, and the FODMAPs diet, tell you right now, is really not fun.
Gross.
It's really not fun. And did that for 6 weeks, went back to see her, and she's like, oh, how did it go? And I was like, I didn't really notice any difference, to be honest. And she's like, oh, really? Oh, that's strange, because 75% of my clients and patients find that they have a complete change of symptoms, and I was like, okay, well, that hasn't happened to me. So I'm just now going to go down the more homeopathic route, which has always kind of been my thing. You test the Western first, make sure that you don't have anything that's going to kill you when they don't have the answers, because they won't. Then I go and try more of a holistic based approach. And she was like, oh no, I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Of course.
No. What I would suggest you do, wait for this, what I would suggest you do is go and see a psychologist.
Oh, fuck off.
Get some counselling and go on a low dose of antidepressants.
The fuck? Really?
I should
mind-altering medication.
Not. I went home to my parents and I was like, this is what she said to me.
But you were 17.
I was 17.
You weren't even an adult.
I was 17, and she told me that to deal with my undiagnosed gut issues, I should go on antidepressants.
Oh.
Steph, I don't know how to tell you this, but it's all in your head.
Mate, I don't know how to tell you this, but that shit does not affect me anymore, because I know it's not. Like, it's just...
That's ludicrous.
It's such a crazy thing. And my friend actually said something today.
Just quickly, was that a GP or was that a specialist?
She was a dietitian.
Right. Okay.
She was a dietitian. And my friend said something today, and she was like, here we go. Sick people don't fake being sick. They learn to fake being well.
That's good. It's very true.
Yeah. Wow. That is a really good quote.
Yeah, and it's very much the case where people go, but Steffi, like, I see you out DJing, I see you're out doing this and you're out doing this, and
they fake being well.
Like, what do you mean? And then they'll see me, late one night, and they'll be like, oh, well, okay. When I'm like, sort of a 10 out of 10 pain, and I'm in a ball, and they're like, oh, okay, all right, you're not stable all the time as much as you might appear, because we do get so good at faking it, because no one wants to be around someone who's going, oh,
poor me,
I can't do this all the time. So that's what's beautiful about having a partner or family and people that you can be vulnerable around and go, hey, actually, do you know what, I am a piece of shit right now and I actually really need some help. But most people don't see that, and so they get so used to the confident and healthy looking you that they kind of forget that this really poisonous dragon is inside of you. So, and that's kind of what I want to show with this event is I'm like, these girls are, well, a lot of them, most of them actually, to be honest, I'm still struggling myself, but most of them have had their hysterectomies and got all their shit out. So they're in a pretty good space with their health. But, sort of the point that I'm trying to bring up here is that despite whatever we are all going through, health-wise or whatever, or what we have gone through, the scars that we bear, we're still here. We're still playing music. We're still being visible. We're still being present. But also, like, if you're not feeling like you want to be present or be visible, here's a space for you. Here's a collective. We're going to go into a dark, dingy fucking bar where you can be as whatever you want to be. If you want to stand there in the middle of the dance floor and cry, you do that, babe. Like, it's however you heal, and we've got performers that are going to be blessing the space. I'm really lucky to have Heavenly Creatures on board and have different girls opening rooms, and it's going to, I won't tell you too much, but it's going to be an all-encompassing raw experience.
Because that's the thing. There's 2 rooms, aren't there? Yeah. So what's the deal with those 2 rooms?
Yeah. So because of the fact that I know not everybody is into techno, and
who are those people? Who are they?
The power of Christ.
Believe it or not, they do exist. So for the people who want a slightly lighter ride, because I also don't want it to be a really dark and gloomy event either. I want to keep it quite upbeat. So the back room is going to be a little bit more melodic, a few sort of iterations of techno and tech house, melodic tech, and then main room. Going
hard. Cool. We'll definitely be there in some form or another. That'd be fucking sick. I can't wait to see that.
Please do, yeah. You fishing for free tickets, Daryl?
Maybe.
Always
Maybe
such a scam.
I was going to ask, so who are some of these lovely DJs who are performing for you?
Right. Well, we have got in alphabetical order, not to prioritise anyone, because we're all so equally special. We have got Becky Roberts, Gwen Gabriela Gonzalez.
I love Gabriela.
She's an absolute gem, and she shared her story today, actually, which was really beautiful, about her mum. Hey Lady, Kate Foote, myself, Madame Sass. We've got Miami Wine Cooler, Modem is coming up from Christchurch, Otatahi. Do you guys know Modem?
No, cool name.
Oh, man.
When's she up? You're on
Dom
the show.
Mallard. So I essentially set the date around her because I was like, babe, I'm not doing this event without you.
Yeah.
And she is a weapon.
Yeah.
And is going through her own battle with menopause at the moment, actually, which is really tough, and possibly endo as well. So anyway, very important. And then we've also got Nixon, my lovely friend Nikki, who has recently just lost Fitzroy, unfortunately, but is still powering through with exactly, Nikki Ahern.
What's Nixon?
Nixon. We've had her on the podcast.
She never told her name was Nixon.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, no, that's really sad about Fitzroy. It was an amazing place.
Yeah. And then we've got Sirenicity, my good friend Sam. This is going to be her debut set, gracing us. Yep. And her partner's a powerhouse house DJ. So it's a fizzing team. I'm really stoked. And it's a really, really diverse group as well. Gwen's just come back from having her gender reassignment surgery in Thailand. So we've got a little bit of everything in there.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So
well done.
Because I'm a man. She's now a woman?
Correct.
Okay, good.
Correct. She's been a woman for a very long time, but she is now officially a fully fledged. Yeah. Right. Certified.
Love it. Hence why she's part of the lineup.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to have this as her. This is her first debut gig as her official certified self. So it's very exciting.
A few milestones. Yeah.
So what was the motivation to actually create an event like this? I understand what it is and endometriosis, but what gave you the spark to actually create this event? Yeah,
thank you. Good question. Really, where it stems from for me is my frustration and despair at the unfortunate state of our public health sector. And I am extremely fortunate, and there's not a day go by that I'm not extremely aware of my privilege. That when I was young, my parents had the financial fortitude to get me private health insurance. I've had 4 double knee surgeries and 2 endometriosis laparoscopies. I can essentially get a surgeon appointment at the drop of a hat within a matter of weeks. I'm going to have a day stay next week to have some injections, all pretty easy. I pay a $500 excess, and I think I've claimed a lot. Yep. I get to stay in a really nice hospital with my own private room, wraparound care. And there are some women out there who, this just still blows my mind, who are having surgery in the public health system and they're not getting a follow-up appointment, not even being seen by their surgeons to find out what was taken out of them.
No.
I am not joking you. I'm not joking.
That is absurd, inhumane.
Joking. So I get to see my surgeon within 12 hours of my surgery, and he'll even come and see me on subsequent days, even on a Saturday on his day off. He'll come into the hospital, check his patients, comes in with his kids, beautiful. And there are girls that are sitting at home in agonizing pain after their surgery, and they don't even know what's happened to them.
I've heard about this. I've heard about this. Yeah, it's
and that's just one story.
Normal,
that's just one story.
Yeah.
So please head on to the Girls Bleed Techno Instagram page and check out the posts that I've been putting up there. Stories from each of our DJs, their own personal stories about what they've gone through, and it is gross. It's gross. So I don't have I don't have the answers. I don't have a medical background. I don't know how to make that better. But I see other countries around the world really starting to come in leaps and bounds. Australia has now got it built into their legislation that women, I may get some of these details wrong here, so please don't crucify me, but women are entitled to, I think, at least 1 day a month sick leave for, you know, period-related or endometriosis-related care. And they've got pure dedicated endometriosis clinics, quite a few of them now over there in Australia. We've got one in Green Lane West, which is a good clinic, but it's just not sufficient.
We're so far behind.
Oh, we really are.
Yeah.
Which is pretty, you know, that's pretty classic with New Zealand. We run about 5 years behind Australia, but we just don't have that time. And the fact that there are girls that are growing up and going into that system as young women and still, you know, being dismissed for whatever reason. And I mean, also, you also need to look at the massive discrepancies and injustices racially in the health sector as well. You know, if you are a Pacific Island or Maori female going to your doctor to talk about the fact that you've got mysterious pelvic pain, mate, good luck. Good luck getting anywhere with that. So it's just too much of a gross issue, and I'm sick of just talking about it.
But I love that you're breaking the stigma. Like with this event, it's breaking it, it's making it, you know, talkable so people can actually and have fun with it as well.
Like, but also keeping it gory. Like, I'm not about just going, oh, us girls, we just once a month we have a little bit of blood and it's not that nice.
We have a cuddle and it fixes everything.
And then it goes away. Like, you know, when I was telling someone, a couple of people at my work recently about my surgery, men, like, these are really lovely people, so I'm not, you know, trying to get at their credibility or integrity, but you start talking about it. This is you have a bowel, right? Daryl, you have a bowel.
I do.
You have a bowel, Yvie.
Yeah.
Like, right? We all have bowels. Start, you know, sort of just explaining. I just had a cyst cut out, you know, not going into any more gory details than that, because to be honest, I don't even know. And they go, okay, I don't need to hear anymore. I get it. I'm like, okay, if this is uncomfortable for you just listening to this, imagine how uncomfortable it is to go through this every day and experience having to say, hey, I'm really sorry, I'm going to have to leave the table because I'm going to have to go and sit on the toilet for a little bit. Or, hey, guys, I can't come to dinner tonight because, you know, this isn't necessarily my situation, but for other girls, I'm, you know, bleeding profusely on the floor. So, like, if that's too much for you, then we don't want you in this space. I'm sorry. Like, we don't. I'm all for radical inclusion to a certain extent, but like, if you're a massive bigot and you don't want to hear about our experiences as 50% of the population who are rearing your children and, you know, working in your kitchens and hopefully doing way fucking better jobs than that, but, you know, we're not there yet. So I want it to be as authentic and real as possible.
That's so cool.
If I may, as the only man on this Fuel podcast, in defense of men, and we don't know about this. And sometimes when you hear things that you don't know anything about, especially when it comes to bodily function, we shut off. You know what I mean? And it's not that we're being arrogant about it or anything. So what I will say is what you're doing is wonderful, because it does bring to light in a way which is easily communicable to men, you know. And I think that an event like this should be promoted not only to women but also to men, obviously. And there should be some sort of information at the door, you know, for guys, you know.
Like a little.
That's a great idea.
Because I'm sure that when a guy says to a chick, you just kicked me in the nuts, which has never happened to me. No. When a man gets kicked in the balls and a chick says, "Oh, I understand," you don't understand. You have no idea. So in defense of men and their reactions to women's things, it's like we have no idea, and we need to be educated. So things like this are an opportunity to educate men about this type of thing, because everyone's got
instead of going, oh, don't say any more, this makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. And especially in today's day and age, because fucking hell, not only health wise, but in everything, we've all got problems, whether it's financially, family, romantically, health wise, we've all got issues. So another problem that's thrown at you, especially guys, we tend to just go, oh fuck, I just don't want to know about it. However, an event like this is an opportunity to go, you know, we'll turn up and hand us a pamphlet, or maybe talk a little bit about it, or just feed us some information. Don't bombard. It's like, otherwise you sound like some sort of fundamental
You just want to
Christian.
shed light on it, right?
You want to shed light. And
just a little.
And if we come along to this, it's like, okay, now's the opportunity for us to be have it explained to in a way that we can clearly understand. Use a bit of music to get it across. You can use entertainment to actually get the point across. And I think this is great. I think what you're doing, and I think maybe you didn't even realize how important it could be for men to come along to your event and actually feed them a little bit of info.
Because men love going to...
Not too much.
Really great. Thank you. I appreciate that perspective. I really appreciate that. Yeah, because it's I said to Gabby, because Gabby doesn't have endometriosis herself, but her mum suffered really badly. And I sent her a message today, and I was like, hey, like I really, really just want to say how grateful I am and we are as Endo warriors for the people like you, for the people that heat up our wheat bags or rub our backs when we're vomiting, or, you know, go to the supermarket and get us some tampons or whatever it might be. Like my partner, Nico, holy shit. That man is just... you know, always looking out for me, and you know, and my friends as well. They've all seen me in pretty bad states. So the support people are also the people that I'm throwing this event for. I'd really recommend to any partners out there who are listening to this, go on and check out Bridget. We'll put the thing in the bottom, but Bridget Hustwaite, I think her name is. She has a book called How to Endo, and she actually used to be a radio DJ. Awesome. And a radio host, and she's had horrific experiences with endo, and her book is amazing. It's like literally chapter by chapter how to endo, like one chapter on you know acupuncture and alternative medicines, one chapter on diet, one chapter on anxiety and depression, and they've got a chapter for partners and support people. Well, actually, to be fair, the whole book is quite good to be listened to if you are a support person of someone with endo, because it just gives you a lot more understanding and perspective. But there's also the chronic pain couple as well, because, you know, when you have that sort of dynamic in a relationship where one person is often sick and the other person is the carer. I'm very lucky in my relationship. My partner's got diabetes, so he understands. He's a type 1 diabetic, so he has a chronic health condition. So we're really able to empathise with one another and support each other through that. So there's, I guess, slightly less of that, but I don't need to look after him so much per se. He's very capable in managing his diabetes, but it can definitely be a challenging dynamic at times, for sure. So I think it's important that partners feel that they can also be feeling a bit like, oh, hey, this is a bit unfair. What about me? Or this is hard. Or, you know, like, and that's a really valid experience too. And those people shouldn't feel like they've just been shoved in the corner because they don't have endo, you know. They kind of do by association. Emotionally.
That's a good point.
As I say, a lot of it's education. Being able to get things across in a way that we all clearly understand, because not everybody communicates in the same way. And especially for guys, as I said before, we're all just kind of like,
it's like taboo for you, right?
Especially like Kiwis.
However,
we're so bad.
But one more, we are
massively.
So bad. New Zealanders are terrible. But also, it's an opportunity, if you raise awareness of it, the good man out there and his woman, if there is a pain that's coming from a place and you cannot understand it, you know, raise the word, you know, endometriosis. You might want to think about that. When you go into your doctor and say, hey, look, could this be that? And, you know, if you have an educated discussion around it, you'll be able to talk clearly around it, and don't be afraid of the word, and you have the knowledge to bring it up with your GP or specialist, and you'll be able to bring it up, and you'll get it early.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Like, we just need to feel like we have a voice, because so many people feel like they'll be judged if they bring anything of the sort up, whether it's like a female to a male especially. But it's like nobody needs to worry about anything, because it's like if you actually do it and say it, then, you know, the stigma's gone and they'll just accept you for who you are and just carry on with it.
Yeah.
So going back to the event, we've covered some bases tonight. Richard, I'm so glad you weren't here for this one. This was definitely a chick one. Well, I've represented the men here today, and I'm happy.
And I'm really glad that we've just, you know, tilted the dynamic slightly.
We have.
Just a tad.
So going back to the event, let's head back to the event. So covering things off, it's at Whammy Bar. It's on the 19th. What time do we kick off?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock at Whammy Bar. You're going through till when?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. 10 DJs, all female, and all raising awareness of endometriosis.
Yeah, and hopefully some money too.
And hopefully some money too. Tell us a little bit about that, actually. We haven't really covered that. So you can buy tickets, obviously. That's the easy one to raise money.
Yeah, and the tickets are really cheap. We've just sold out early birds, which are only $18, and general release is only $25. So it's pretty, it's chumps change really in the scheme of things. And all proceeds are going towards Endometriosis New Zealand and Endo Warriors Aotearoa. And we will, I know it's so close to the date, so I don't know how much this will pick off, but we're hopefully going to have some merchandise as well. So some t-shirts that you can purchase. And then also, if you are someone outside of Auckland or you cannot go to the event, but you want to help or you want to donate or whatever, you can buy someone a ticket. So if you're someone with endometriosis and you don't have the money to buy a ticket because we don't have a lot of extra change rolling around necessarily, then you can donate a ticket. So I'll be putting a post up about that. So just keep tabs.
Awesome.
Cool.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Steph, and thank you for everyone for listening to this one. I think it's important. I think this is where the beauty of music is a great tool for raising awareness for those important causes around the world, and this is something that is very important. It's very important to you, and I think it's very important to a lot of women out there who either A, don't know how to express themselves, or B, don't even realize that they have this issue yet. So it's really important, and best of luck, and we will put all the details in the link below.
Yeah, love what you're doing.
Yeah,
so cool.
It's fantastic.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to bring a voice to it.
Of course.
It feels really good to get it all out.
Let it out.
And you got 10 female DJs. I know at least a majority of them, and they're all quality. So get along. It'll be great. So yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much for coming on.
Good night.
Thank you. Ka kite.
Thank you.